Hello, my name is Skip, and this is From the Fourth Rows Best Movies of 2012. Now, in 2012, there's been quite a few just amazing movies, and some of the honorable mentions I would like to say is Being Flynn, Paul Dano, and Robert De Niro are fantastic. Hitchcock, great movie, one of my favorite movie makers, and I think Anthony Hopkins does a great job, and so does Helen Mirren and Hitchcock. Beasts of the Southern Wild, just an interesting, wild ride of a movie starring absolutely nobodies that nobody knows. Um, I mean, people like us. I mean, a lot of people didn't see that movie, but I thought that was a really good movie that came out last summer. Also, Lawless, another great movie, came out back in August about bootlegging and had some great actresses and actors in it like Tom Hardy and Jessica Chastain and uh, people like that. But those are just a few of the, you know, a couple of the honorable mentions, such as like Bernie as well. I just wanted to make Bernie and Flight with Denzel Washington was fantastic. And Bernie was just great as well. But my number 10 movie of the year, I just think is it was such a good movie. I know a lot of people, want to nitpick it and stuff and say there's plot holes or whatever. But I just think it's probably one of the scariest movies I've seen in a long time, and that's Prometheus. And I thought Ridley Scott and everybody, Michael Fassbender and Naomi Pace and everybody that was in that were just phenomenal. And I think it still stands up as one of the best movies of the year. Um, Number 9 is The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, it's such a great movie. It's such a great follow up to The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. I just cannot say enough about Tom Hardy and Christian Bale and Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine and um, everybody that was in this movie. It was fantastic. I thought it was a great follow up, and I was glad to see um, Christopher Nolan do a great job in this movie and end this trilogy in a great fashion. So I love The Dark Knight Rises. Also, number 8 is Moonrise Kingdom. Now, if you didn't see Moonrise Kingdom, this is a kind of like a period piece in a way, and it goes back to the 70s and has a lot of really good performances by Edward Norton and Bruce Willis and Frances McDormand. But the stars are two young people, and it's a kind of a little bit of a coming of age, I guess you would call it, or two kids kind of trying to find themselves, and they go running off from camp or whatever. But it is directed by Wes Anderson, and I love it, and I can't get enough of this movie. The comedy, Bill Murray's in it, and there's a lot of little inside jokes and funny uh, things going on in this movie, but it's just such a heartwarming movie, and that's part of the reason why I put Moonrise Kingdom on my best of the year list. Number 7 is Life of Pi. Wow, Ang Lee, you think this guy can't keep up the great movies that he's done over the years, like you know, but he does such a great job in this movie. It's so just miraculous and so just breathtaking. The drop, the backdrop, and just how a boy can live in a boat with a tiger. I mean, and how he survives, and this whole storyline that goes on, and just I mean, Ang Lee's done a lot of good movies. Brokeback Mountain and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I mean, but I think this is his best movie yet, and I really believe it's one of the best of the year. Number 6 is Skyfall. I mean, Skyfall is just a great continuation of the James Bond um, series of movies, and I think we kind of go back to the beginning a little bit with this, but I mean, we're not going back to like campiness or goofiness or oddness or anything like that. I mean, we're going fast and forward as far as the action and storytelling and the drama and the, I mean, just the production value of this movie. I mean, it is a fantastic movie, and Javier Bardem and I mean Daniel Craig are phenomenal in this movie, just absolutely phenomenal. I love Skyfall. Um, Number five is Silver Lining Playbook. Now, Silver Linings Playbook is not your average movie, but it has a lot of average kind of things that go on, like things that we can all relate to. You know, people that are dealing with difficult situations in life, overcoming hardships and overcoming uh, trouble and stuff. And, you know, you always have like parents that don't believe in you. Oh, you're a bum. You're this. You're not gonna make it. You know, and you trying to find your way in the world. And even if you're a little older, you know, mid 20s or early 20s or whatever, and you need some help, and you need that one inspiring thing that goes on that helps you. And I think that's what's great about the Silver Linings Playbook, and it's a great follow-up by David Russell from The Fighter. And I think all the actors, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence and Robert De Niro, are just fantastic in this movie. Now, number four is Lincoln, and you know, Lincoln is one of those movies where if you really like history and you really like these kind of procedurals about, you know, step by step about history and about what goes on in politics or in the military or government or whatever, this is one of those kind of movies. It just happens to take place just before the Civil War. And so you get a really great um, cast talking and the dialogue of how the political system works back then. And Daniel Day-Lewis is phenomenal as Lincoln, and he should probably get nominated, if not win, for Best Actor. But Tommy Lee Jones and Sally Field and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are also phenomenal in this movie, and I just cannot say enough about Lincoln. And number three is Argo. This is the third time out for Ben Affleck directing, and I mean he can't do any wrong as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Gone Baby Gone and The Town were two of my favorite movies of the last decade, and Argo, you know, I knew a little bit about the story of Argo. I didn't realize to this extent what went into this story of the Iran Contra and all that, but the drama of the people in Iran, and then the makeshift story about the science fiction movie. I mean, it's just such an interesting yin and yang, I guess you would call it, of this story. And Ben Affleck, once again, another cast, John Goodman. I mean, so many good actors in this movie, and I just loved Argo. Now, my number two movie is Django Unchained. Now, there's been a lot of controversy about Django Unchained, but I'll tell you right now, it is all unnecessary. I just think if you know Quentin Tarantino, you know the kind of movies he likes to make. He likes to take the movies that he grew up on the 60s and 70s, and sometimes he takes blaxploitation or westerns or action movies or whatever you may have, and he likes to put those all into one movie and then try to see what he can do with it. And I mean, look, he did a World War II movies the last time, and he added all his favorite themes. This time he does a western, and he adds some of his favorite themes in there. And I think Jamie Foxx and Christoph Waltz and Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson are just absolutely fantastic, and Kerry Washington in a minor role is really good. It's just the dialogue. I mean, a lot of movies, go back to Lincoln. There's a lot of good dialogue in Lincoln. In this movie, along with the action and the blood and the stuff that goes on, there's great dialogue. These characters, you believe what they're talking about. It's not like Magic Mike where people are talking like, yeah, right, shut up, you want to watch another movie because these people can't talk. The people know what they're saying, and it makes you believe what they're saying when you're watching the movie, and it makes the movie believable, and that's what makes the movie enjoyable. And I love Django Unchained. Now, my number one movie of the year is Les Miserables. And I mean, once again, great cast. I mean, great movie. And I saw the movie in 1992, I think, with Liam Neeson and Jeffrey Rush. Of course, there was no music, Never saw the play, so this is the first time I ever saw Les Miserables with music, and I cannot. I mean, Hugh Jackman, he can do it all. And Anne Hathaway, I mean, what a great year she's having as Catwoman in The Dark Knight, and now um, as this character in Les Miserables. But I mean, Eddie Redmayne and Amanda Seyfried. I mean, unbelievably. I didn't know some of these people could sing this good. I mean, the singing just was flawless. Even Russell Crowe, I mean, he was probably the worst of the singers, but he even, you believed him. There was some criticism, of course, about a lot of the face-ups, but I think that really made these people believable, whether they were poor or the situation they were in the world they were in at the time. Revolution in France. You know what I mean? So I thought Les Miserables was the best movie I've seen all year, and be aware I have not seen Zero Dark 30, and so that does not make my top 10 list because it has not aired here in where I live in Florida. So that was my top 10 of the year, and I hope we have just as many great movies next year. And this is Skip, and this has been From the Fourth Rows, Best Movies of the Year, 2012.